Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today. My name is Rami, I'm the CEO of OnceHub. I hope you're all well and safe. And today we're going to talk about a topic which is very relevant to the current COVID environment, and this is video conferencing. Let's see what we're going to discuss. So we'll talk about why we need to use video conferencing integration, what are the benefits, what are the reasons for offering multiple video conferencing options to your customers when they schedule with you. We'll see a demo of 3 setup options that you can use to offer multiple video conferencing options. So just before we dive in, let's take a quick look on OnceHub virtual meeting integration journey. We started in 2014. This was our first integration with GoToMeeting. In 2015, we added integration with Webex. And when Zoom was starting to gain massive traction, we added Zoom in 2018. And now we're here in the COVID environment, 2020. And in COVID, all meetings started to be virtual meetings. There were hardly any face-to-face meetings. So we decided to double down on our efforts and add additional video conferencing integrations. The first one we added was Google Meet in April, May. Then we added, just recently, last week, we added the integration with Microsoft Teams. In addition, we also enhanced our Webex integrations to support all Webex plans, including the free plans. And we also enhanced our Zoom integration to support the additional security settings that were introduced by Zoom. So all this was done just in the last 3 months. We really put all our development efforts into this because it is so important in the COVID environment. All meetings are virtual. So why do we need video conferencing integration? We can also do without it, but it's not such a good idea. If we're not using video conferencing integration, what we need to do is use a static link. So it's a static link that starts the video conferencing session. For example, if it's a Zoom, it will be zoom.us/some ID. Some video conferencing tools let you have your name here, or it's just a number, but the important thing is that it is a fixed number and you're using the same link for all your meetings. So if someone has attended your meeting, they already know your link, they can go back and use it again. And this is not good, it's not secure, the link can be guessed, people can reuse it, and it is also vulnerable to back-to-back meetings. So if you're meeting with customers or prospects one after the other, and one of them joins the meeting a bit early, and they're going to join the meeting while you're still meeting with the previous customer or prospect. And this is a big embarrassment. So these are the reasons why it is not a good idea to use a static link. And when you use a video conferencing integration, you're always using a dynamic link. So Schedule Once automatically generates this link via the API of the video conferencing tool. Every meeting will have its own links. It's a little bit like one-time links in Schedule Once. So if you use a one-time link, it's good for one booking only. Also, these dynamic links, they are good for one session only. So you give them to one customer and no one else has them. So it cannot be guessed, it is secure, and it is resilient to back-to-back meetings. Even if one customer joins early, they're joining a different meeting, they're not going to barge into your current meeting. So how does video conferencing integration work? Just a big picture. So Schedule Once has a video conferencing service that connects to the video conferencing APIs, application programming interfaces, of the video conferencing providers we support, the 5 video conferencing services we support. And Schedule Once, whenever there is a booking or a reschedule or a cancellation, whenever there is an event that requires the generation of a link, we generate a secure and unique link on the spot. And we support all our scenarios with the video conferencing integration. So you're not going to be losing capabilities to support scenarios if you're using video conferencing integration. Everything is supported. You can use it with automatic booking. That's the #1 scenario. We also have booking with approval. This works with video conferencing as well. Rescheduling is taken care of automatically. Cancellations will cancel the video conferencing session in the video conferencing tool. Panels, when multiple team members from the organization need to meet with a customer or prospect, they all get the link as well. Group sessions is unique because here you're giving the same link to multiple customers. This is like a webinar, so this is supported as well. And session packages, this is where a customer or a prospect books more than one session in one go, and each session will have its own unique video conferencing link, and it can also be canceled or rescheduled, so this is also fully supported. And also payment integration is supported with video conferencing. So everything is supported. One note about video conferencing security, so we take that very seriously. For example, when Zoom had the security issues and they responded really fast and added additional features, one of them, for example, was the waiting room. So people that join, they don't immediately join the meeting, but they wait in a waiting room. And then once they're verified, they're let in by the meeting host. So we also added this feature to our video conferencing integration so that we can really generate the video conferencing links in the most secure way possible. So as secure as the video conferencing tool provider enables. So why offer multiple video conferencing options? This is the key question. First of all, it's compliance. So not all video conferencing tools are authorized for use. If you're scheduling with prospects or customers that are in large organizations or regulated industries, they may have only specific tools that they can use. And if you're connected to a tool that they're not allowed to use, they will not be able to meet with you. For example, we've seen many cases where Zoom is not allowed. If this is your primary video conferencing tool, it may be good to have another one as a choice, as a backup. Another one is user experience. People like to use what they know. If you are forcing a customer or prospect to learn a new tool for the first time when they need to meet with you, they'll probably be late to the meeting and the meeting will not start on a good note. They may have problems starting their video or audio properly. So better to give them what they know. Control, so if you let them choose, you give them control. People always want to be in control, so that's a good thing. Awareness, we've seen many cases that people are not aware that this is a video conferencing session and they wait for you to call them. If you let them choose and they are actively choosing a tool, there is a much higher chance that they will actually remember that this is a video conferencing session and they need to click the link to join the meeting. And the last one is trust. If you provide multiple options, they see that this is a robust and neutral app and it's not taking a side with one tool or another, especially now that it's Microsoft and Google. These two big giants are both claiming for a stake. If you're giving them multiple options, it creates trust. And at the end of the day, all these options, they improve conversion rates and they reduce no-shows, which is what we all want from online scheduling. So I mentioned the two camps. There's the Microsoft camp and the Google camp. So the way it works, if you're connecting your Office 365 calendar and you have Microsoft Teams enabled on your account, it's going to be automatically enabled in Schedule Once as well. There is no need to connect it. You just connect your calendar and you have Microsoft Teams enabled. Same goes with Google. If you're connecting with your Google Calendar, you have Microsoft, it's not Microsoft, you have Google Meet automatically enabled. So these are the two camps, Microsoft and Google, and then you have the independent tools, Zoom, Webex, and GoToMeeting. And if you want to offer options, you're either in this camp or this camp. So you cannot offer Microsoft Teams and Google Meet together because they're connected to your calendar. So you're either using Google Calendar or you're using Office 365 calendar. But once you offer one of these, Teams or Google Meet, you can add any of these three. And this is also what we're going to see in the demos. So just to show you an example, today the calendar connection and the connection to the video conferencing tool is part of our onboarding. So when a new user signs up for Schedule Once, as part of the onboarding steps, they connect their calendar. So this is the confirmation after the calendar is connected. And when they click continue, in this case, it's Microsoft Teams, it's automatically connected. They don't need to connect. It's just connected because the Office 365 calendar is connected. So let's look at the three setup options and how we can use each one of them, and also what are the pros and cons of each one. So the first option is to have the video conferencing choice as the first step. That's what we call video conferencing first. It means that as the first step, the customer or prospect are going to select a tool. Then they're going to select an event type. If you want to offer multiple event types, you don't have to. So that's option one. Option two is to have the video conferencing second. So if you want to use event types, you start with event type selection. Then you have the video conferencing selection. And option three, the video conferencing selection is after the time selection. So you can have event types if you want, or without event types, but once the time is selected, after the time is selected, the prospect or customer need to select a video conferencing tool, and only then they go to the booking form. So these are the three options. We're going to see a demo of each one and briefly see how well we can set them up. Okay, so let's talk about the first one, video conferencing first. So the way this works is the selection of a video conferencing tool is actually a selection of a booking page. What you would do is you would create your booking page, you would duplicate the page, and with every duplication, you would connect it to a different video conferencing tool. So you will have 3 or 4 booking pages. They're all identical. They are just connected to a different video conferencing tool. And you have your event types. So you have your event types associated with the booking pages. And now you create a master page. And when you create a master page, you have a number of scenarios. So to have the video conferencing first, you select this scenario, booking pages first, and then the event types will be second. Let's see a demo of this. So this is a high-tech company. You can see here there is a Zoom, Google Meet, GoToMeeting, and Webex. By the way, if you notice here, I have the name and the email of the customer already in the URL because I'm going to skip the booking form. So this is what we call personalized links. So let's select Google Meet. And let's select a quick call. That's the event type. And now let's pick a time. And I don't need to fill a booking form because I have the details in the URL. And you can see that the Google Meet was created. And if we go to the customer's notification, here it is. This is the calendar event with the Google Meet. So, and the confirmation will come in a second as well. So that's the customer experience when we have the video conferencing first. Let's move to the second scenario. So the second scenario is very similar. The only difference is that we now select this scenario, event types first and booking pages second. Let's see this demo. So this is a demo of a financial advisor. And you can see here the event types. So let's select an intro session. And again, we're going to select a video conferencing tool. Now we're going to select GoToMeeting, pick a time, and schedule. So now we'll see the GoToMeeting link. Here it is, GoToMeeting. The GoToMeeting link is automatically generated. And if we go to the notifications, it should be here. Yeah, that's the one. And that's GoToMeeting. Here we go. So that's the GoToMeeting. Let's go to the third scenario now. So this is video conferencing after time selection. Here, when you create a master page, you need to select the first scenario, rule-based assignment. And I'll show you exactly how this is done in a second. So we'll just see the scenario from the customer side. So we can select the counseling session, and I will select the time. And now after the time, we're selecting a video conferencing tool. Let's select Webex. By the way, you can see there's also a phone call. So this is also an option that you can have. And when COVID is over, we can also have a face-to-face. So you can have video conferencing and you can have face-to-face. So you can have all your options in one place. So, but now we're going to use Webex. Okay, and here it is, Webex. Webex was scheduled. And let's go to the administration side now. I want to show you how these are done. So this is the first scenario that we saw. And you can see what's important here. If I go to the overview, you can see the scenario here. So this is the scenario, booking pages first and event type second. This is the first scenario that we looked at. This is how the assignment looks like. So here you select all the booking pages that include your video conferencing options. And one thing that's important to note is it is a good idea to change the labels. So a booking page represents a video conferencing tool, and selection instructions for booking pages is something like, how would you like to meet with us? So it's important to customize the labels for optimal customer experience. So this was the first scenario. I want to show you the last scenario, the nutrition one. And this is the one where it's the rule-based assignment where the selection is after the selection of video conferencing tool is after the time selection. So let's see how this is set up. You need to select rule-based assignment, and then in assignment, you select static rules and find member by time. So this is how you set it up, static and find member by time. And also here you would customize the labels and the selection instructions. Okay, so the question is really which one is best to use. So first of all, it depends on your preference, whatever you think is more appealing to you. If I would try to apply any logical rule to it, I think it is based on the level of regulation in the industry where your customers or prospects are. If it's a highly regulated industry, or maybe a very big corporate with strict rules, then I think it is probably the better idea to show the selection of video conferencing tools up front, because without it, people may be wary about scheduling with a tool and not being able to get the video conferencing tool that they can use. So the more regulated, the more I would bring the selection of video conferencing to the front. The less regulated it is, you can hide it and move it downstream, so you can have it only after the time selection step. I think this is probably beyond your preference towards one or another. This is probably the number one rule. Okay, that's it. So thank you very much. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. Be safe. Thank you for coming.